Divine thinks with the purpose of creation. Now before I proceed, this video is from a higher spiritual perspective. So, it might seem abstract and contrary to what you have been taught. But bear with me and it will help you feel an innate bliss that I have been experiencing recently. Here it goes. Divine doesn't think in terms of probability. It thinks or imagines to create. In absolute terms. It creates the seeming bad that we blame as bad. And it creates the good. Now, why is this important, you ask? Well, in this life, you need to learn to think like divine. That is, stop labeling things as good or bad. Rather, think in terms of what do you want to experience. You see, whatever has the attention of the divine keeps on being manifested or revealed more and more into this reality. And you are a part or an individualization of the all, the infinite, divine. So, when you label something as bad, you mediate your divinity to reveal more of it. Because remember, divine thinks only from the perspective of creation and experience. There is no such thing as idle thought or daydreaming in the mind of the divine. So, it takes your predominant thoughts literally and makes them manifest into your life for you to experience. Now, what to do then? Simply think in terms of desirable and undesirable. That is, if something is undesirable, don't label it as bad or unwanted. Don't condemn it. Simply move to what is desirable. Put your mental power into describing and thinking from the desirable state. And so, it will become your reality. There is a nuance to this very subtle mental shift. That is, divine thinking and human thinking distinction. Human thinking is predominantly purposeless and based on useless topics or fears most of the time. Yet the divinity in you takes it literally. And if you think of a specific topic long enough, divine takes it as your state of being and manifests it into your reality. And then you are shocked as to why I always end up fighting with my parents. Why do I always end up being used? Why can't I get out of this financial problem? The answer lies in what terms are you thinking about these topics. Thus, observing these topics will reveal to you exactly what your assumptions are. But let's take it a step further. I want you to practice this. Think exactly like divine. That is, remove time from your life. Let go of time. Divine thinks, and it is done. That is it. There is no time delay of any sorts. The point is to think in terms of being fulfilled in the now. There is only the present moment. And from the book, Conversations with God by Neil Donald Walsh. It is portrayed that everything exists now. Your soul is a multidimensional being, living infinite versions of your right now. Meaning, time only applies to you, not to your divine self. It is simultaneously experiencing everything right now. Neville Goddard also talked about the fourth dimensional you. That is, your inner man. Who can be anywhere at any time in your imagination. And even Dr. Joe Dispenza also puts it in scientific terms. That all potentials of you exist right now in the quantum realm. The point is, if you can become more energy and less matter, you can bend time. If anything can travel closer to, equal to, or faster than the speed of light, then according to the Einstein's theory of relativity, the flow of time changes or slows down for the subject. The point is, time is no longer a constant thing. This is all to say one thing. Time is non-existent to your divinity. Because your divinity is everywhere, at all times. Having all experiences right now. Of every version of you. So, to eliminate time is to be fulfilled right now. You can feel that you have everything you want. Because guess what, your divine self does. The more you encourage these thinking patterns, the more blissed out you will feel. And this limited 3D world begins to show you exactly what you think you already have. You shift your reality into desired one. Our life drastically doesn't change because we do not drastically think differently from our past with our human mind. It is habitual and it relies too heavily on the data from the past. But if you think from your divine self, well then, no time exists. So, past data is pointless. Because divine creates only in the now. So, thinking of the past is equal to creating it again in the now moment. So, you will quickly refrain from dwelling in the past. And now you know that to feelingly think of something is to create it. So, begin to eliminate time and think feelingly of what you want by feeling that your divine self already has it. It is already experiencing it in some plane of existence. And all you have to do is tune into the energy of that existence or that version of you. And you will have it in 3D as well. As Neville Goddard said, to desire a thing is to have it. You only desire a thing because your divine self is experiencing it in some plane of existence, so it wants you to experience it as well. A desire is truly a confirmation from the divinity for you to have it if you allow it in. But we reject it and so it never appears. So, it is all about your choices on what you want to experience next. And your divinity complies with it. If you focus on the unwanted and resent it, label it as bad, it stays. So, encourage yourself to think like divine more and more. Think in terms of what you want to experience. Rather than what is good or bad. Focusing on good and bad easily ends up in dwelling on the bad. Because egoic mind loves problems. But divine mind only creates. It thinks and it is. It imagines and experiences. It knows no time. It knows no space. It is everywhere at all times. And your job is to use it to experience what you want. And drop every other mental chatter. Divine doesn't question a possibility. It doesn't even think in terms of possibilities or probabilities. It doesn't ponder on the pros and cons of things. If you don't believe it, then take a look at all the chaos in the world. If he thought in terms of good and bad, and as religions of the world describe him to be the most merciful, there would be no suffering. This world would have been a utopia. Heaven, to be precise. But since divine has given us the reins of creation in our respective lives, it is us who breed chaos, suffering, and pain. Because our human mind is of such nature. This is why I want you to think like divine. Then everything will make sense to you. And become easier for you to understand. That we become what we think about. Thinking like divine gets you aligned with the pure and loving energy of the source. It gets you out of the lack. Hence you feel blissed out. I get such episodes from time to time. And that is what I want for everybody now. For us to raise in consciousness and stop thinking like lower beings. This will collectively make this world a better place for us all. Otherwise, egoic minds will forever breed suffering. In ignorance of the law of life. When you think like divine. From your I amness. You feel without a doubt that everything is alright. Even the suffering. Because none of this is actually real. But a dream in the mind of the all.